Okay, so we are on to Throne of Glass. We're all the way up to chapters 10 and 11. Um, and, I couldn't be more excited. The plot's going along great. She gets hauled into the throne room. We're going to find out more about this contest of assassin champions. She's worried because, she couldn't be worse dressed. She's in high heels and a dress, and she's not gonna cut the figure that she imagined that she would when she's meeting these guys. But when she finally gets there, it's the first time she's seen the king since her mysterious arrest and when she got thrown into the salt mines that they don't really get into yet. It's still a mystery, but she's definitely not on her A game, and definitely not exactly happy about being there. Thankfully, it kind of keeps her mouth shut for the first time in the book and possibly the last. She curtsies, she says the things that she needs to, and she gets hauled back outside by the captain of the guard and meets with the prince, who tells her they have a cover for her where she's going to be a jewel thief. And she's all, I'm Selena Sardothian, and, I'm the world's greatest assassin, and really wants to fight them on it. But, happenstance has it that the woman that she met before, I get her name wrong, Keltane, shows up and starts some little back and forth with her. And that's when you start to see a little bit of her political training that you would have in an assassin, which immediately dissolves as Cal drags her in for training. And she finds out that he actually, did earn his title and he's pretty good with the sword. And it's kind of questionable because, once again, she loses her temper. She goes right for her daggers, and, they do a fade to black. But a couple of the questions were, if she's under this cover, the king obviously recognizes her as Hien on it. Um, like, it's great that she loves to be what she is and who she is, and she's the world's greatest assassin and so on. Is she even going to be able to hold this cover? She certainly blows it right off the drop when she's fighting with Kale. She's definitely not holding back with him. Everything to her is a competition. Some of the questions that we have are so some of the questions that we have are about how kings run their countries. What did they do to keep their people entertained? Because obviously there were a lot of power struggles back in the day. Assassins, it's one of those very Hollywood things. But assuming that you're out there and you have a cover, Edward Snowden worked in Switzerland for, gosh, I think it was 3 years before he finally joined the NSA as a contractor, as technically a spy. Would you have your cover be no cover? If you were the world's greatest assassin, the fact that she's a woman, she loves when people find that out because it's such a challenge to the system. But it also provides her with this cloak of secrecy because nobody believes it unless they already know. So would you be able to pull that off, and would that be your choice, to just go with the no cover covers? And would that work? I mean, politically, there's a lot of politics in the books. It's done in a very light and fun way, but it's an interesting kind of mini introduction into the way that governments work, where there is this balance of power and there are these covert operations, and you have to kind of take some of these things into account. So very, very interesting set of chapters.